Where are we at on this whole Lunchley thing, Big A? Seems Jimmy Beast is copping a bit of pushback for it. Jimmy Beast is copping pushback in general, and Lunchley is another battleground in that war. It's nothing. It's whatever. It's a fucking Lunchable. If it was the Markiplier Lunchley, everyone would be like, oh, cool. I don't really with, like Logan Paul and John. I don't fuck with Prime because of him. But if it was someone else doing it, Lunchley is the Fansly of Lunchables. That's not true. Unless there's a picture of KSI's with it, it's not the Fansly of Lunchables. You have an incorrect assessment. Have you seen the leaked Mr. Beast production guide? Ooh, this is going to be a hot take. You want a scorcher from me? It's incredible. It's incredible. You should read it. It's incredible. It's very, very good. There's only one part, which I think is taken with the worst possible intention, because obviously for probably good reason. Again, I haven't kept up with everything. People aren't happy with Mr. Beast. But in general, you should read it. If you are like a motivated person trying to like figure out how you're gonna, it's sincerely good. It is a good attitude on how to do something hard. Is this a bit? It's not a bit. If you haven't read it, you should read. I swear to God, it's actually good. It's full with like, mostly it's just common sense, but it's smart stuff. Can you MS Paint drawing explain it? Nope, I can't. Yeah, listen, I'm sure that there's parts you can discard and parts you can take from it. The parts you should take from it are good. He's cooking. I mean, listen, the guy's could be a psycho, but he did something extremely difficult. The way he runs his team, at least in the book, is filled with things that align with actual knowledge. It's good. And that's why I'm going to lock my chatters in a white room and not feed them. If it's so damn good, give us the cliff notes. Some things that might stand out are like the section on accountability, which is basically like when talking to employees, is like, hey, it's extremely important to just own your mistake, learn from it, and move on. I promise you, I swear to God, I will not fire you for making a mistake. We make mistakes all the time. Everyone who's a veteran on my team has lost me millions of dollars in mistakes. The only thing that would get you fired here is if you make a mistake, lie, or try to blame it on someone else. Disregard what you think about Mr. Beast separately. That is a good way to run a business. That's a good line. That's a good handbook to teach new employees. When people come into your business, if you make them scared of making mistakes, they're more likely to do boring or bad things. If you allow them to fail but grow from it, they suddenly get better a lot faster. Whether or not he believes or follows everything in that book, the book is good. I was talking with Doug about it. Doug thinks the same thing, by the way, just to throw him under the bus. You're gonna cancel me, cancel Doug too, because we both agreed 100%. Especially if you're in the content creation business and you read that book, there's something you can take from it. Never trusted that guy with two names. Dude, it was so annoying because we were playing basketball on Sunday and a random guy showed up and he's like, hey, my name's Doug. Can I play with you? And we're like, sure, jump on in. And then it was Doug and Doug on the same team and we're trying to figure out the passes. And it was a whole fusterclug. I broke a 10K piece of equipment at my job once. Boss was chill about it because I told him immediately and said it happened to him in the past early in his career too. Yeah, again, I have had different bosses in my career, and the boss I really, really respected was my boss at NVIDIA, who, if I ever made a mistake, was not, yelling, punishing, oh, you f***ed up. He would like sit me down and talk me through it and like try to figure out what went wrong or what. It was just, I got way better because of that. And I didn't get scared of making mistakes again. I didn't like stop trying. I think when I joined the company, I was more scared because of Twitch politics at Twitch. And once not to go back to the green out a million times, but the green out wasn't part of my job. I did that on my own and then pitched it kind of sheepishly up the chain. It was cool that he didn't go, that's not even your job, do your real job. Like he didn't. I don't know. And the way I pitched it wasn't even the right way. I didn't go, but he ran with it. I don't know. It was cool. It was cool. And it led to my career doing well there. So that was cool. We're talking about taking responsibility. Are you going to apologize for abandoning Coney on Pico Park 2 night? Bro, Coney messaged me and he goes, hey, I'm going to put your name in the title and pretend like you didn't show up. And I go, okay, cool. That sounds funny. But I figured sometime during his stream, he would reveal that it's a joke, but he didn't. And then I rated him at the end of his stream and he's still going, wow, Aatrox rating me and you still didn't show up? He's running the bit and everyone in chat's like, wow, this asshole didn't even, he committed, dude. I'm applying for flight school. Any study tips? You don't have to study. First rule of flight school is it's all about aura. Planes fly themselves, bro. It's 2024. Just point it at the ground and put the wheels out. Just get your aura right. Because if your aura's wrong, if I get on a plane and I look at the pilot and he looks like he doesn't have aura, I don't get off the plane. I just start freaking out. I just sit in my seat and go, it's going to crash. It's going to crash, folks. We're all going down on this one. I have 3 interviews tomorrow. Any tips? You have 3 interviews? Oh, I have all these women fawning over me. Any tips? You're fine, bro. You're at the interview phase. Just don't fuck. Once you're at the interview phase, you're this close. It's about not seeming crazy. Know your shit, eye contact, handshake. If you know who you're interviewing with, look them up on LinkedIn, try to learn a little about them. If it's going to be anything technical, make sure you know your shit going in. But in general, it's just like, don't give them a reason to veto you. This is how it goes, right? 4 or 5 people, maybe 3 to 5, will interview somebody, interview a candidate, and then we'll all get in a room around a table and we'll discuss the candidates and see who we're going to pick. And what happens is one stupid thing they did vetoes them. It's always something small. And then they're like, I think we skip. And this is back in a time when we were even more desperate to hire. I think nowadays they'll veto you for any reason. Just understand that, like, especially if it's like a non-technical job, you're going to get hit with some random ass vetoes. And so you want to make sure you're like not giving someone an easy reason to just, I'm hiring right now. 1 red flag. Exactly. 1 red flag. It's just an interview having a vibe. If one interviewer goes, I had a vibe about this, like it seems like I don't think he's going to fit in with this team, you know, whatever. Red flag. So basically, don't you dare stumble over your words. You say one wrong thing or you're... No, I'm not trying to make you nervous. It's more like stumbling over your words would be fine. You should be easygoing about it. Like, sorry, I'm a little flustered. Just be honest about that. Like, if you're feeling something and you're like jumbled or whatever, just be like, hey, take a breath here. Just don't collapse. I've interviewed people who fully crumbled, and it's so sad to watch their soul leave them. It's true. Sometimes you'll see them start to sway, you know? They'll stumble, then you'll hit them with the haymaker, one question they're not ready for, and they'll pause. I had a guy who just paused. He paused, no answer. Not even give me more time, not even just, just dead silence, unbroken for like, I don't know, 45 seconds or something. And I was like, all right, do you... Just froze, completely frozen. I guess just be honest. Like if you need time or something, you're like, you know what, I'm not really, a great answer would be on something. I'm not really sure about that one, but this is how I'd go about learning it or figuring it out or like whatever. Like that wouldn't disqualify you. Don't ask about salary or vacation days or anything like that in the interview. One more thing I'll say. That always comes off real bad. I interviewed with your friend Brian Tran many years ago and fully crumbled at the time. That's so funny. You crumbled under Brian Friendly Tran? That's the nicest dude in the world. That's my good friend. He was recruiter at Twitch, at Riot, at Blizzard. He's so friendly. He asked me how Twitch made money, and I used ad block at the time, so I didn't realize y'all had ads. Why is he just asking you how Twitch made money? That's funny. It's also funny that you crumbled. Also, by the way, during the time Brian Tran was there, you could have answered they don't. You could have said, bro, what money? What are you talking about? They run hella ads now. They might be break even, but they certainly didn't make money back then. You know how they make money? They go and beg Andy Jassy or Jeff Bezos. They beg them. They get on their knees and they beg for more cash from daddy. That's what we did back then. I am 8ish. Wow, H-Rock, your mic is loud. I wish it was a little quieter. A mighty loud coffee cow, as I say. 8ish, now that I work with you, you can't talk like this. 8ish, now that we have meetings and I have to sign your paychecks and shit, you can't, this is no longer appropriate. You gotta, I'm your boss. You gotta talk normal, dude. If I went to my boss in NVIDIA and said, what's up, Coffee Glizmeister moo? How about a cup of that Joe? I'm not getting a raise. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. Yo, Jensen, how we mooing? Obviously would not be what you say. He'd chuckle, don't lie. I promise you, he would not. If I walked up to Jensen Huang, who I've only met in person once or twice, and I said, what up, Jensen, how you mooing? I feel like he would be off put.